Hi, Arrow.
How are you doing today, Alicia?
Hi, good, and you?
Fantastic. Before we even get started, I got to give kudos to not only you and the other actors on the show, but your entire production company. You guys are doing it right when it comes to period pieces and sharing a real story.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
To be a part of this, I mean, because once again, it is a period piece. It just goes and it proves that we love our royalty stories and we like to embrace them because we want to be a part of that royalty story.
It's just I think we can not get enough of that because it's so interesting to lose yourself in a completely different world and reality, but yet the things the struggles they are facing and the challenges they have just feels so modern it's a story about a young girl coming of age, and I think that's something we can all relate to. So it's just a mix of that contemporary feel and the beautiful period images.
Now, Tom, how did you prepare for a role like this? Do you have to do a lot of reading of history, or how do you really get into that mindset?
Yeah, I think it's really important that you do as much reading as you can. I think you just owe it to the history, and you have to kind of bathe yourself with as much literature as possible so that it kind of sits in you and vibrates around. But ultimately, you have to leave all of that at the door because the scripts are the launch pad for you as an actor. And history itself is interpretation anyway.
Yep.
As you said, the show itself, it's incredibly historically accurate. Anya Reese, our young showrunner, she has really earmarked the very strong, very particular storyline that happens historically. And then the bits in between, they are interpretations. So we have to, as actors, be kind of faithful to her interpretation and use the scripts as the launch pad.
Alicia, doesn't this also prove that girl power is not something that we've done over the past 5 years, that there's been girl power our entire life and beyond where we presently stand?
Yeah, I mean, I think, to be honest, that the way we show girl power in this one is very, it's not on the nose, and that's what I love about it so much. I think we dare to show a young woman with a soft, vulnerable voice being emotional and insecure rather than someone who already knows by the age of 14 what she wants later on. And I think to show such a soft character who's still so well respected shows that there is a female way of leading and no need to adapt something to something we all know. And I think that is very special.
Tom, inside the storyline, all things change when the king is reported dead. As an actor, I mean, all of a sudden, inside your mind, body, and soul, you've got to be able to hear that soundtrack go bump, 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 because everything changes at that moment.
Yeah. Tom, go ahead.
No, go, Alicia, go.
No, I just want to say that there is like this void that just opens up, and everyone tries to find their pawn in the game, and I think that's what also happens with the relationship with Thomas Seymour, Catherine Parr, and Elizabeth. That triangle where there is a lot of love, but it's also a game, and that's what it makes it so complex.
Tom, would you say that one of the subliminal actors on the show is the actual sets? Because, I mean, my God, authentic candle-lit rooms. I mean, is it really that dark? Because I love the way that the close-up shots, the room itself, everything that's going on is like we're there, and you're inviting us to stay there.
That's such a lovely way of describing it, a subliminal character, because that's certainly what it felt like for us. Justin Chadwick, our director, and our DP is this young Brazilian guy called Adolfo Veloso. They had a very clear vision of how they wanted to shoot it. The sets were built so that we could shoot 360 degrees. They had ceilings on them, and Adolfo wanted to shoot light everything with natural light, so whether that be candles or just window light. And then on the set itself, it would just be Adolfo, who would be shooting it, and sound recordist, and that would be it. And we would film these scenes in 360 degrees. So whenever Adolfo wanted to go and pick up another character or shoot something else, he could do that, and we could move wherever we wanted to. And it just makes the whole show feel incredibly tactile and incredibly real. And for us as actors, it was extraordinary because you really could just disappear into this world. You know, there isn't some guy in the corner in shorts practicing about football scores. You know, you are just completely immersed.
Both of you have beautiful accents, but do you still have to go to a voice acting coach in order to be, to fit into these roles?
Yeah, I mean, I'm German, and just by taking on that.
You're German, great. You said it so negatively. Yeah.
I'm German, so it was very special for me to be allowed to dive into that, like the role of a British queen. And well, I did have to work on my accent for it, and I felt very lucky because I had the chance to work on it for a while, which was basically half a year in advance, and then throughout the shoot. And I think what we did is that we said that the accent we know from royal period dramas is a Queen's English, but that's something we only know from other projects. So we decided to actually go with a more modern accent and have a more modern take on it, because they were also just politics and conversationalists, and we felt that the normal RP accent is the right one to go with.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, really. I was lucky enough to be cast before the Elizabeths were, so I was able to screen test with some of the Elizabeths, and they were all absolutely amazing. But when Alicia came in, she walked in and she had such a kind of natural interpretation of this character, and it certainly informed my own interpretation of Thomas Seymour. I wanted to follow her lead and make him as natural as possible and not kind of fall into the tropes of a clipped RP accent, but rather make these people real human beings, which of course they would have been. So it's a received pronunciation RP, but it is that heightened language, and I think that it really works with the scripts as well, because Anya, our writer, the scripts have such a kind of young, punky energy, and I think that being able to say it a bit more naturally aided the script.
Well, I'm so glad that Stars is right there with you guys. And congratulations on this. And we're all going to be talking about it around the world, and you guys are right there in the center of all of that fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thanks so much, Eric.
You bet. Be brilliant today.